Now I'm a realist. I know every environment is not going to be clean and simple to upgrade. In this video, I'll take you through SDDC Manager as well as NSX. Now, NSX is going to cause me a bunch of issues. I've always known that. I've got a pretty dirty environment in terms of my lab environment. So we're going to hit about maybe 5 to 6 issues. And as you can see here from this little whiteboarding session, we're going to do an SDDC Manager upgrade, and I'm going to take you through manual remediation of all the NSX issues that I hit, which will then let us go on to the next stage of the vCenter upgrade. See you there. We're now moving on to upgrading the platform. This is where we were focusing our area of attention last time, binary management, task components, depot configuration. If you click one level down and click on SDDC, it's there because we've done the upgrade and it knows it's part of an SDDC or VCF instance, but it can't do anything with it or can't view anything, or you can't really do anything in VCF operations for SDDC Manager because it hasn't been upgraded to version 9 yet. If you click on upgrade now, will redirect you to SDDC Manager. Since I've already authenticated, it will get me to authenticate through vCenter and then push me back into SDDC Manager as it normally would. Bunch of issues here, mostly password expiry things that we can sort out. First thing I want to do now is, we can see here, we can see that version 9 is there and it's latest and compatible. We have a look quickly about what version we're currently on, 5211. This is what we want to do now, so let's run a pre-check, and it's likely going to flag all the password issues, but we can click on view details and watch that fix it up as needed. I'm as surprised as you are. It all passed, no issues. It is an healthy lab, so that's good for me. Now we can go back to the available updates and go through an update. As you would always, take a backup. I've done a snapshot and a files-based backup. Do as much as you want in your environment, but make sure you've got a backup before you hit update now. And away it goes. You can see there the task is pending and it's going to kick off. It'll kick me out of SDDC Manager. If you've been through any upgrades before, you've seen this process. It sort of kicks you out, takes you to like an upgrade screen, and then once it's done, it'll reboot the services and get you back into SDDC Manager. If you haven't seen it before, this is the upgrade screen. There's a couple of errors here apparently. This is mostly as part of the upgrade process, services stopping, restarting. So it's just saying it can't update it. You can see here the status, it's currently upgrading, or it's a couple of green ticks, which is good, and it's currently on a few more tasks left. We should come back in a bit and be done. That logged me out, but it looks like it completed. If we have a look at the version here and go to about, it's now version 9. Let's continue the upgrade process by going back to, one second. There's a change in the way the depot configurations are done from 5.2 to 9. I'm assuming that's what this error message is about. So if we go to view depot settings, let's hit edit. Yeah, so now it's asking for a download token. Before, if you remember, it had the username and password, and then you had to make the changes in the application prod properties file to get it to recognize a download token. Here I'm going to put the token back in and we'll see if that fixes this issue. It's saying it failed to connect to the depot with the provided credentials. I've removed the token for some clear reasons of not sharing what I shouldn't be sharing. Now I need to jump back onto the SDDC Manager appliance, go to the application prod properties file and have a look to see what's going on. Before going to the app prod properties file, I wanted to have a look at the error message, and this is the LCM-debug log in on the SDDC Manager appliance, and it's saying here, manifest get failed, no manifest found in the system. So I was not able to find a LCM manifest file, which is very important, a piece of metadata that's required to be able to do any upgrades. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. I'm going to open up the app prod properties file. There you go, opt VMware VCF LCM app, and so on. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. If I hit enter on that, we should be able to have a look at what it's looking for. If you notice all these config options here, a lot of what we had created in the pre-upgrade or before we upgraded SDDC to 9 have been wiped and made for made available or made correct for VCF 9 or SDDC Manager 9. So I didn't actually need to do anything here. It would end up being a small config issue on my end, which you probably won't have to worry about on your side, so I won't repeat what it is here. As you can see now, I've retried to authenticate and depot connection is active. Now, if you do hit an issue at this point, because I didn't cover it, let me know and I can try and walk you through some of the ways to resolve this, but you probably won't face the issue that I did. Now I'm going to go back to Lifecycle Management, SDDC Manager. We should be able to see, yep, that's all good to go. Update history. We should see version 9, we're good. Updated, bang. So now if I go to workload domains, click on the domain that I want to update. Go through the process. You will have to run another pre-check. Target version is version 9. All components and everything's auto-selected, so it's asking you what you want to verify, which products. I'm doing the entire domain, so I'll run pre-check on that. NSX needs to be relicensed. Hopefully that doesn't break the upgrade. Let this complete and come back. As I suspected, lots are passed, lots of errors, some warnings, and one was silenced. Let's have a look at what the errors are. That's what we'll focus on. So we need bundle, audit user, NSX host consistency. So we'll work through the NSX errors first, and then we'll move on to the next. First is upgrade bundles download status. So we need to go and download that bundle. Go to binary management. We'll go upgrade, NSX, down the bottom, and we'll just download all of them really, except for SDDC Manager because that's already done. So I'll hit download. And away that's going to go. If we jump back to workload domains, updates, the pre-check, we should be able to go back to the previous results. There we go. All right, that's going. Management node, host 2 region 1. Check the transport node connectivity, do not perform upgrade. So if we log into NSX, we should be able to see if there are any of these issues. To find these errors for the transport nodes, I typically go to System, Fabric, Hosts. We'll see if there's any errors in there. Now you can see here it's saying Reg 1 host 2 region 1 is the one with the issues. In NSX, that host has been removed quite a while ago, so I'm not entirely sure why it's picking it up, but for whatever reason, after clicking through these, I can see it still exists under standalone hosts. The host is no longer up, so I'm going to remove this from here, and I'll force delete that because it doesn't exist. It's doing an inventory check with NSX, so hopefully this fixes the issue. We can retry that pre-check for this specific error as well. The host was also removed properly, as in through SDDC Manager and whatnot, so I wasn't expecting to see that error here. That's cleaned up now. Let's jump back into here and we'll try and rerun this pre-check. That wasn't enough to get past that error. Let's check in hosts to see if the host still exists there somewhere. That host isn't actually there, but there is one that's not being used, so I want to remove that to see if that helps avoid any issues. We'll get rid of that. That host removal was successful. We'll try it again. So we can see here the next update, or the first update in the whole line, is NSX Manager. Now, based on the error we saw in the pre-check, it was talking about a host that didn't exist. Now that I know that host doesn't actually exist, I'm going to bypass it a little bit, if you want to call it that, and apply the NSX update. Hopefully, this whole process will then help it fix itself. I did also try restarting. I checked the database on the SDDC Manager, as well as restarted the services on SDDC Manager. It's pretty clear to me that the host doesn't exist in either platform, so I'm going to go through with the update anyways. Now let's click on Configure Update. Go next, next, and it's going to run the pre-check again. And I'm going to also apply this configuration update, which is just a fix for the vSAN HA isolation address. Hit apply on that. Should be able to see some of these tasks. Okay, that's gone through anyways. I'll have a look at the tasks here. I didn't delve into that that precheck issue too much because it's environmental specific. I doubt you'll find the same issue. You might find something similar, but if you do hit the issue, let me know, and if you can't get past it. You see that first config item is successful. It's still doing the pre-check, so we'll let that finish and we'll come back. Pre-check finally went through. It's saying there's an error. We can see what the error is. Bundle pre-checks. Okay, pre-check's already running. Please wait until it's finished. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to proceed with this. As I said, it's a lab. You should definitely wait for this while you're doing your environment. Let's let this finish loading again. The config update's completed successfully. All right, let's go through. And schedule that update. Hit next. Upgrade now. Reviewed. Finish. Update scheduled. It's going to kick off now. Cool. And you can monitor it as usual, either through the NSX UI or even up here. If you refresh, that task will eventually come through. I'll come back once this is finished and we'll go to the next stage, which is going to be hosts and then managers. So the upgrade of NSX, or the start of the upgrade, failed. If you click on the error, it's talking about inconsistencies in the database. Effectively, there's management plane objects that have not been promoted to policy API, which is what's required. Now, if you go to this knowledge base article, it's effectively just saying run the migration coordinator service and promote every object into policy API, which we can do now. First things first, we need to start the migration coordinator service. So I SSH'd onto the VIP and it automatically takes you to the primary node, or the node that's active. Here we go, start service migration coordinator. That should start. Hopefully there's no errors. All right, so that has started. If we jump back into here, let's do a quick refresh. Hopefully that banner is gone and we can start working with the service. It's saying it found 4,054 manager objects that can be promoted. I'm okay with updating it or promoting it because I've already taken a backup. So I'll hit next or start. IP allocation, certs, exclusion lists, and 4,000 IP sets. I'll hit continue. It validated the config and then it went ahead and did it all. As you can see here, 4,054 manager objects promoted. Now if I jump back into here, hopefully it's as good as or as easy as just restarting the update. So if I go to configure update, next, it's going to rerun the pre-check. Let's see how that goes. All right, I'll have to let that complete and we'll come back. All right, cluster check passed, no more errors. Let's click on schedule update. It's going to do both edge clusters. Next, upgrade now, done, finish. Hopefully we don't hit any issues this time around. According to this, it errored out again on the same thing. But I've gone into NSX Manager and had a look under general settings and the option to promote is gone. So it leads me to believe that that feature was deprecated in version 9. So I believe it's been upgraded, as in the NSX Manager's been upgraded. It's just not reflected here yet. So some things need to still be finalized. If I go to upgrade, I can see the target version is correct. And if I click on continue with upgrade, NSX Manager is at the right version. So I will probably consider that as the NSX Managers were successful, but there's a bit of a gremlin somewhere. So I'll continue on. We'll have a look at what else it's erroring out on. I've sometimes gone through this the other way around and go next within NSX to see where it's getting stuck. So far, target version 9, upgrade pre-checks have all passed. There's actually nothing to, it looks like it's already done, but let me just have a quick look around. Yeah, the reason it's done is because we're on the managers page, and as we saw on the previous screen, NSX managers are already done. I'll click next. Here we get to the edge node section. I've done the pre-checks so many times now, I'm just going to hit start upgrade. I hope it works. I'm pretty sure it will work. Let's have a look. Again, in your environment, in a production environment, 100% you want to go through and fix the errors if there are any. At this point in time, I'm seeing no real errors. NSX Manager will go through each of the phases and tell us what's going on. Now, once it upgrades from here, remember that SDDC Manager orchestrates the upgrade. You can always go back in and restart the task, and hopefully it picks up from where it left off. As in, it should see that you've done the upgrade for the NSX Managers and Edges through SDDC Manager. If not, we'll fix that as we get to it. Here we can see we've gone through the managers and the edges. They're all upgraded now. If we go with continue upgrade, upgrade complete, edges are all good, they're in the right version. The hosts are still on 4.2.1. If we jump back in here, I was assuming I could go back through here, which I've been able to do in the past, and go straight through to the upgrade. But if I'm clicking on upgrade now, or configure upgrade, it's talking about doing vCenter, I assume, because if I click on view details, NSX Manager's got a red exclamation, vCenter's got 9 hosts. Then after that, clicking configure update, we can see it's talking about doing vCenter now. I'm going to go back through NSX and do the rest of the upgrade manually, as in through NSX Manager and not myself. We'll go through, hopefully that gets through, and then that change syncs back to SDDC Manager. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll fix it together, and there is a way to do that via API. So I'll click on start upgrade here. Let's first configure the upgrade. Yep, so we've got host 1, we've got a couple of new hosts in there, cool. Let's change the update settings, we can do parallel, if it fails, keep going. Cool, hit save, and I will start the upgrade. That is kicked off. In the past, I've had to sort of handhold this sometimes. If maintenance mode for whatever reason fails and then one of the hosts will fail, I'm just going to leave it this time. Let's see how it goes. You can monitor maintenance mode, moving VMs around and all that sort of stuff in vCenter, but I'm going to be a little bit hands off this time around, and we'll see how far it gets. As you can see here, I just ended up proceeding to do it all through NSX Manager. And managers, edges, hosts, all done. The last step is to finalize. The problem I've got now is if I click finalize and start that, it evaluates the entire environment, but it won't let me proceed because it notices that vCenter is still at version 8.03. I assume there's some sort of magic in the SDDC Manager workflow, and that's why I'm getting stuck here, which I think is okay because the next step in the upgrade process is vCenter. Then I'll come back and finalize this. You'll see what I mean in a second. There's the error message I was talking about. Found Compute Manager at version 8.03. Please upgrade to 9 to continue and finalize the upgrade. Now, this could be purely coincidental or environmental. As I said, all the issues I wanted to show you as I go through them and fix them. Not to say that you'll hit this, but this is what I'm hitting in my lab.